Today marks 1657 day of day lessons, day reflections. And today was reflecting about one word specifically, and that is attention. Attention. And I think sometimes we undervalue this word, even though this is extremely important. And I think that if we do not allocate that word properly in our life, we potentially could find ourselves putting attention in things that do not matter. And when we put our attention for the things that we do not matter, what leads to? It leads a life without purpose, without meaning, without joy, without bliss, without meaningful relationship, without meaningful deeds. There are so many things that could be missing just because we just do not know how to allocate our time and how to use our time and really use attention in the right way. So today I'll share 7 truths that I think that we need to understand about attention, just to make sure that we value attention. So number one is that your attention is your real life. Your attention is a real life. So that means is when you look into on a daily basis, what do you put attention to? You can potentially put attention to drama, or you can put attention to people's strengths. You can really see that, look into it. You can really put attention to distractions, or you can really put attention to something that you can focus on for a longer term or for a book. You can put attention to the nature around you, or you can put attention on anxieties of the future, of the past. So you choose exactly what is your reality on a daily basis, because your attention is your real life, because you're living it on a daily basis. And now you put attention to this video, you are listening to it, so you're putting attention to it, most likely, unless you're playing with the phone or anything between and you multitasking. And that's again, that shows that attention is lacking, because you do so many different things and you're not able to really put attention to something. Number two truth about attention is that what you consume eventually consumes you. What you consume eventually consumes you. And this is extremely powerful, because that says that what you put attention to compounds, good or bad. That doesn't matter. For attention, it doesn't matter. If you put something bad in your mind, right, that you put attention into it, at some point you will be disappointed because of that. But it's an interesting thing, because if you're doing the right thing, you put attention on the right things, and really work on yourself, develop yourself, you able to focus and do the right things. At some point, that goodness consumes you, and you just don't know where that content is coming from, because you just did day after day the right thing. I experienced both. I put attention to the wrong things that led to terrible outcome. I put my attention to the right things, and that had amazing outcome. And I think that being able to really experience both compoundings, I think that is a blessing, because now I know exactly how much attention really matters. Number three, attention fragmentation weakens the soul. Attention fragmentation weakens the soul. And I already mentioned that you potentially could watch this video and then do so many different things at the same time. You can wash the dishes, you can really look into email, we can look into your phone, text, and then stop and start, stop and start. And one thing that I think that every single person will agree on, that when you really jump between one thing and another, sometimes you potentially could miss the true depth of the message, of understanding, especially of relationship. And if you have attention to a person in front of you, 100% attention, you will be asking deeper questions. You're able to really reflect on really what that person said and what they meant, and then really have energy to pursue and go deeper. And that depth will allow to really open up yourself and really be engaged in life in a ways that no attention, if we don't have the attention, without attention we'll never get there. Attention is necessary to develop inner depth and being able to understand other person, because if you are surface level understanding of yourself, it's very hard to understand others as well. Number four, the modern world is designed to hijack your nervous system. As all notifications, all hustle, grind, do. But that all do is great until you actually use attention to the things that you do. Because I think that sometimes is just hijacking because one thing notified and I need to do that for 50 minutes, that other thing, and I do it for 5 minutes, other thing, third thing, and then the attention that you potentially even on scrolling on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all the things, all are very short. So basically, you don't need to use attention. You're just using dopamine to really get and get and get more. And so that means you train not to put attention to something that is actually meaningful. And we're losing our power to put attention to. That's what the hijacking world is, extremely short and extremely quick, and leaving attention behind. Number five is where attention goes, identity follows. Where attention goes, identity follows. And that's part is that our attention is our real life. And that means that what we allocate our attention to, identity will follow. And an interesting thing that even when every single person has strengths and weaknesses. And people did the research that people who focus on strengths achieve more than people who focus on fixing their weakness. And that's again what you focus on. Do you put your attention to really fix your flaws, or do you put your attention to really develop your strengths? And a person who really focuses on developing their strengths, they will build identity around that. A person who puts attention on fixing their flaws potentially could who put identity around it. This is flawed. So that a person needs fixing. No. Every single person needs to have strengths that they develop, and now they find people around themselves who actually able to cover their weakness. And that's a beautiful thing. That's a connection, and the relations are so important to complete each other with strengths and weaknesses. When weaknesses are covered and strengths developed, we're able to add to each other much, much more value than just covering by ourselves our own weakness. I really loved when I learned this from John C. Maxwell that we are weak in our weaknesses and we are strong in our strengths. So let's focus on developing our and put attention to strengths. Number six, most people are not addicted to pleasure. They're addicted to escape. And this is such a powerful thing. Most people not addicted to pleasure. They're addicted to escape. I hope that you see that because a lot of times that pleasure that people seeking is not for the pleasure, but just being just with their own thoughts, that attention on themselves, on those difficulties that potential life have sent to them, that's internal difficulties, internal battles, and it's putting them in a position that they start to seek pleasure to relieve themselves from that internal battle. And this is again where the attention goes, that people seek pleasure just to escape reality. And they put attention to pleasure rather than putting on growth that could potentially allow themselves to really go through the storm rather than hiding from the storm. And last, number seven is that the quality of your attention determines the quality of your existence. The quality of your attention determines the quality of your existence. And I truly believe that this is extremely, extremely important. And when I know it, when I speak even more, I understand even more how important it is, that attention. And it's part of being able to be present and attentive. Because if you go and study and say that you have 1.5 hours to study, what you will put that 1 hour and a half attention to? Because choosing where to allocate your attention will dictate how much you're able to learn, if you're able to learn. Because if you're actually not able to allocate your attention to anything and you just going back and forth to different things, and your attention was not used within 1 hour and a half, and was extremely divided at that moment, I think that our life will be a little bit more divided than it actually could be. I think that life is supposed to be much, much more simple. I think that we overcomplicate things. And I think that when we able to really use our attention in a proper way, and we take out a lot of things out of the plate, because I think that we overcomplicate because we have our life a plate, that I have a plate right now here as well, and we put too many things in that plate. And because there are so many things in the plate, everything seems complex. And I think that one of the most beautiful parts, and people who are actually able to succeed in life, they're able to say that, okay, I don't need this one, I don't need this one, and they really start to throw things out of their plate, and plate becomes so much more simple, so much more enjoyable, and to be able to absorb that kind of life in a much better way. So I hope that you reflect as well. What is your attention going on a daily basis? Do you put attention? Do you have attention on a daily basis whatsoever? Because I said that you potentially could. I think that people now been addicted to dopamine so much that sometimes people don't use attention in the highest possible way at all. If that attention is such a flickering thing, like a spark, rather than when you hours and hours spending on something that really matters, like reading a book, going to nature and exploring nature and yourself and your thoughts. Because when you're not able to do that, I think that probably one of the worst of parts is that I share from all those things that we become less engaging life, more surface level. And I think that attention is one of the things that allows us to become again more develop that strong foundation, deep foundation. So just to make sure that we're able to pursue the most important things in life with attention. So I hope you choose to win and see you tomorrow.